everyone! Welcome to Metal Magikarp deck discussions. Today we're going to be talking about how we're building our Primal Kyogre deck. The cool thing about Primal Kyogre is he's a part of Primal Clash, and he's one of the legendaries from the Sapphire Ruby series. Goes hand in hand with Groudon. So if you guys want to see us ever build Groudon or anything, you can tell us in the comments below. But right now, we're going to show you how we build our Primal Kyogre. So today I'm going to start with talking about the Pokemon that we're running in this deck here. We have 10 total Pokemon in our deck out of 60 cards. We're going to talk about Hoopa. Even though he's a psychic Pokemon, we have him running in our water deck because he has this ability called Scoundrel Ring. This is when you have him in your hand and you put him onto your bench, you can search your deck for up to 3 Pokemon EX. This entire deck only runs Pokemon EX, so you can grab up to 3 of any of these other Pokemon, as long as you're not running another Hoopa. You can't grab another Hoopa with his ability. The next Pokemon we're going to talk about is our Palkia EX. He is kind of our tank that we like to try and put him out before everyone else. He has a pretty high HP, but we have this move here called Aqua Turbo. Even though it only does 40 damage, it makes it so you can search your deck for 2 energy cards and attach them to one of your benched Pokemon. This is a pretty heavy energy deck, so you're going to want to get as much energy as early in the game as possible. The Aqua Turbo move is primary to do near the beginning of the game, so you can attach it to your benches. The next Pokemon we're going to talk about is our Manaphy EX. We're running 2 of these guys. Both of these cards are exactly the same. One's a full art and one's a half art. As long as they have the ability Aqua Tube, it's primary that you take this Pokemon and run it in this deck. The reason is because Aqua Tube makes it so as long as you have a water energy attached to any of your Pokemon, they have absolutely no retreat cost. So it doesn't matter if it's a water Pokemon as long as it's a water energy attached to it. Next, we're going to talk about our Kyogre EX. We are running 3 in this deck. All 3 of these Kyogre are exactly the same. The only difference is the art. This is a promo card, this is a full art, and this is a half art. It doesn't matter which one you run in here as long as it has the moves Water Pulse and Giant Whirlpool. Finally, the Pokemon that we're going to be talking about is our Mega Primal Kyogre EX. This is exactly the Pokemon that this whole deck is rotating around. Here we have only 3 in our deck, but these 2 are slightly different. It's entirely up to however you would want to build and run your deck, because each of these have different alpha and sigma. This sigma here is a max sigma. When one of your Pokemon becomes this Pokemon, you heal all damage from it. So, if you have a Kyogre EX and it has 90 damage or any other type of damage on it, and then you Mega Evolve Primal Kyogre here, you take off all damage counters, and then now you freshly start with your 240 HP. Now if you look at this Primal Kyogre, this one is Alpha Growth. So if you Mega Evolve this Pokemon, and you go to attach a water energy, you're actually able to attach up to 2 water energy as long as you have the energy in your hand already. So if you have 2 energy, Growth just instantly attaches. It's important to note that Sigma and Alphas are not abilities. They're not affected by any sort of ability or supporter card that makes it so abilities aren't able to work. This is a full art card, this is a half art card. Both of them, though, do run 4 energy Tidal Storm, 150 damage, and 30 to each of your opponent's Pokemon. The important thing to note about our setup of Pokemon is why we have each. Well, I explained about Hoopa. You use Hoopa and his ability to go back and grab at least 3 Pokemon EX. In this case, you want to take as many Kyogre as you can and put them on your bench so you're able to start building. And I'll put out a Manaphy. So we have these Megas, and unfortunately this move does require you to move 2 energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched after attacking. That's why it's really important to have at least 2 Primal Kyogre on your bench. And if you have this Primal Kyogre out here, let's say hypothetically you have your 4 energies attached to this one Pokemon, but you have 2 attached to this Primal Kyogre. If you do Tidal Storm and do 150 damage, you have to take these energy back and then you attach it to a benched Pokemon. That makes it so this one is all set up. Then if you have a Manaphy on your bench or in play, you have no retreat cost for water. So once it comes back to being your turn, you just switch Primal, you do it again, then you switch the energy, and then you do it again, and you'll do that as many times. That's why it's important to have Palkia to help set up with your energies, Hoopa to help set up your bench, and Manaphy so we have the good retreat cost. It's good to keep in mind that every single time you Mega Evolve and you don't have a Spirit Link attached to the Pokemon that's Mega Evolving, it's the end of your turn. That's why we have our trainer. In this deck, we have 38 trainers we're running, and of these 38 trainers, we have 3 Kyogre Spirit Link. These are the Spirit Link that you would attach to your Kyogre EX, and it's a tool so you keep it on there for as long as until your Pokemon is knocked out. Then, as long as you have a Spirit Link, and if you eventually Mega Evolve, your turn will not end after you Mega Evolve, so you can eventually inflict damage on your opponent at the end of your turn. As I was talking earlier about the Alpha and the Sigma, those aren't abilities that can be affected by Supporter. This is the kind of Supporter that I'm talking about. In this deck, we're running 1 Hex Maniac. This makes it so until the end of your opponent's next turn, each Pokemon in play, in hand, and the discard pile has absolutely no ability. Although, unfortunately, this would apply to your Manaphy and your Hoopa. But this comes in handy whenever you have some other Pokemon that has an ability, such as Trevenant, where it has a basic Pokemon requires extra energy, or if you have a Giratina with its ability, but we'll be able to explain that later. Our next supporter that we're running is N. We're running 2 of these. Both of these are the same, they're just different art. This makes it so that you and your opponent shuffle your current hand into your deck and you draw as many prize cards as you have. So, if you have 6 prize cards and you shuffle your hand into your deck, you draw 6 cards from your deck. If you have 2 prize cards, you draw 2 cards from your deck, and so on. Usually this comes into play when you're still at the beginning of the game, before you knocked any of the other Pokemon out. This makes it so you can have 6 cards back into your hand, and especially helps whenever you're down to 1 or 2 cards in your current hand that you can shuffle back into your deck. Our next supporter that we run is Lysander. We are running 2 of these, and both of these cards are the same. One is just full art and the other is half. This comes in handy whenever you have a Pokemon that seems pretty troublesome that your opponent has out on his bench, and his active Pokemon. So what you can do is look at what your opponent has on their bench, if it has a low HP or it isn't quite built yet, like the one they have out as an active. If you play your Lysander, it makes it so you get to choose which Pokemon that they take from their bench and put out as their active, and they take that active and put it back out. For example, if they have a Hoopa that's already built with 3 energy, and you're weak to Psychic Energy, that's 170 HP. But if they had like an Eevee on their bench that's 60 HP, you'd be able to play your Lysander, pull out their Eevee, push back the Hoopa, and you can knock out that Eevee, and that's an easy card. Another supporter that we're running in our deck is Professor Sycamore. We're running 3 of these. All of these are the same. One's hollow, one's half art, one's full art. So they all do the same thing. This comes in handy usually whenever you're far into the game and your hand just isn't helping. What you do is you take your Professor Sycamore, you play him, and you discard your whole hand, and you draw 7 cards. Here we're moving on to the items. This is pretty important to follow the supporters, because Versus Seeker is all about the supporters. It's an item card, so you can play as many items as you want your turn, as long as they're in your hand. The Versus Seeker makes it so, if you play it, you go through your discard pile and take back a supporter. So if I want to take back my Professor Sycamore, I play Versus Seeker, grab him, discard, and put him back into my hand. We are running 4 total Versus Seeker. Next, I'm talking about Dive Ball. We're running 4 of these, and primarily, since this is a water deck besides Hoopa, these come in great handy because you don't need to discard or have any coin flips in order to go grab a Pokemon. As long as it's a water Pokemon, you can go into your deck and grab it. You play this, you go and search for any of these water Pokemon. Next, we have Ultra Ball. We're only running 2 of these because this is discard bait. You have to discard at least 2 cards along with this one, and then you have to go and search for any Pokemon in your deck. This is nice whenever you're trying to go and find your Hoopa so that you can go and grab 3 more from his ability. Because he's a Psychic, you wouldn't be able to use the Dive Ball to go grab him, but you'll still be able to use the Ultra Ball to go and grab Hoopa. You would still have to discard 2 cards from your hand. So let's say you had an Energy and a Max Elixir in your hand, and you just need that Pokemon more than you need the Max Elixir or the energy. So you would discard those two along with this one, and you'd go and grab Hoopa. Our next item is coming in threes. We're only running 3 Max Elixirs in this deck. You can run up to 4 if you'd like. And as I said earlier, this deck really relies on energy. So if we want to get as much energy and make this deck as fast as we can, we want to try a Max Elixir. What happens with Max Elixir is you look at the top 6 cards of your deck and you attach any basic energy you find there to a basic Pokemon on your bench. Keep in mind this is only 1 energy that you can attach if it's on the first 6 cards of your deck. This does come in handy though whenever you already attached a water energy your turn. If you play a Max Elixir and you find a water energy in the top 6, you can attach it again. It doesn't count as attaching the energy for your turn. Our next energy item that we're going to talk about is Professor's Letter. We're running 3 of these in this deck, and as I said before, you can run up to 4. Just keep in mind you can only have 60 cards per deck. The reason we're running Professor's Letter is because this makes it so as long as you play this item, you can search your deck for up to 2 basic energy and put them into your hand. You do have to reveal it to your opponent, and it is only basic energy and not special energy. But this comes in handy for whenever you're trying to build up your Kyogre and your Mega Kyogre. Our next energy item card is Energy Retrieval. This comes in handy whenever somebody has knocked out your Kyogre that had an energy attached to it, and then because you have to discard that afterwards, what you do is you play your Energy Retrieval as your item, and you go and put 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. So let's say that you had 2 energy attached to Kyogre, and you discarded that. So you go back into your discard pile, grab these energy, put them back into your hand, and then you're ready to go. Our final energy item card that we're trying to run in this deck is Super Rod. We're only running 2, you can run up to 4 if you'd like. As I said before, just keep in mind the 60 card count. So, Super Rod is special whenever you want to try and get Pokemon and basic energy cards back into your deck from your discard pile. This makes it so you can shuffle 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard pile back into your deck. So let's say somebody took out your Primal Kyogre with 2 energies attached to it. You already have 2 Kyogre out here, and you would want that back in your deck because you prized another one. So what you would do is you'd play Super Rod, grab 2 energy in your Primal Kyogre, shuffle it into your deck, so whenever you decide to get to that point of drawing it, or if you have a dive ball or something to go and grab the Primal Kyogre, it's back into your deck. Here we have our single stadium card. This is called Rough Seas. We're running 4 of these, and this comes in handy for whenever you're trying to heal your Pokemon. This really only helps water and electric type Pokemon, but in this case, we're only focusing on the water. So once during each player's turn, the player may heal 30 damage from each of his or her water or electric Pokemon. Our final trainer card that we're running in this deck is Trainer's Mail. The reason why this is at the end is because this pertains to all trainer cards. We're only running 3 in this deck, but you can run up to 4. Trainer's Mail is special because makes it so you look at the top 4 cards of your deck. If there's a trainer card there, you can put it into your hand and shuffle the cards back into your deck. The final part of the deck to talk about are just the basic energies and the special energies. We're running a total of 10 energies in this deck because of how heavily reliant the Primal Kyogre is on it. But we do still have our special energies, which are splash energies. These can only be attached to water Pokemon. That's important to say. So if you try and attach it to your Hoopa, it doesn't have any effect. So what makes this so special is if the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out, you can get back all your Pokemon that this was attached to. So let's say you had a Kyogre and a Primal Kyogre. If you have a special energy attached and your opponent knocks out your Pokemon and you go to discard, you take both Pokemon back and put it back into your hand. You don't get the energy back, but you still get your Pokemon back. Alright guys, so that's the end of our Primal Kyogre deck discussion. If you guys have any questions regarding what we're running or how we run it, you're welcome to comment below or to contact us directly. We'll try and reply to you guys directly or through video. We also have an option for you guys. If you want to see this in action, we can show you how it's played against another deck as a really quick video just to demonstrate exactly how it works. All of this is optional. It's completely, well, whether or not how many of everything you want to be running on yourself. Just remember, this deck is really heavy on energy. We also have our deck list here provided in the discussion below. If you have a favorite Pokemon or a deck that you really want to see, we can see if we can either build it or already have it built, and then we can do a deck discussion for you guys so you'll be able to run your favorite decks. And then remembering this is all optional, you can use this as a template and then build from there. Also, if you don't quite know how to play the TCG or actually how to play the real game, but that this applies to, we're going to have a tutorial video on how to play the Pokemon card game. It'll be really fast, really simple. So whichever you guys want to see, you go ahead and comment below or contact us directly. We'll be more than happy for all kinds of different video ideas. If you like what we do, if you want to see more deck discussions with Metal Magikarp Mosh Pit, subscribe. We'll also do stuff on Twitch, and we're also on social media. So if you want to see all what we do and see your favorite Pokemon, go ahead and drop us some likes. Thank you guys!
You got me again, each time I live.